Let's see what's going on in Middle-earth. Oh, why is my WB Play game connection lost? Oh, well, that's not so bad. Let's see what kind of cool WB Play deals there are today, everybody. Featured deal Friday. Wait a second. It's not Friday. What the hell? Manwin, welcome back. Josh Long, welcome back.
Our illustrious champion.
Hi, everybody.
Returns. Welcome home.
But I can offer you sight. Come, let me show you the way.
What are you babbling about? Spider Lady? Okay, alright. So, what do we... I hate this. Alright, let me try something. So, if I connect to the market... Oh, I see, it just shows me my followers. I was like, stop telling me I have a notification. I don't care. I don't care. Stop. Okay. Alright. Okay, good. I can get rid of my notification. Alright, so... Hi, LZT. Are you in America, LZT? Are we in the same time zone? I think that we've cleared all the quests for this zone. I think that's what's happened, which is nice. So now we just have the other area to go and to visit. Yeah, see, I could just do a bunch of these like ordeals and get money and stuff, but I'm not gonna. We're gonna zoom out here. And we're gonna go here. We're gonna go to Cirith Ungol. Right? Because I can't go to Osgiliath or Minas Tirith. Yeah, okay, let's go. Let's do it. How do I go here? Fast travel. To Cirith Ungol. King Rajesh, if people donated money, I would not waste it on loot boxes for a game I'm gonna play for a few more days and then stop probably. Alright, Knife in the Dark. The armies of Cirith Ungol are gathering for the final assault on Minas Ithil. Shelob has information. Is it Shelob? I think it's Shelob. Shelob has information that can help you target and eliminate the leaders of the Orc army. Return to her and dismantle Sauron's army from within. Alright, disable outposts. Defeat the captain who lead it. Do the Orc. Kill Orc. Alright. Dun, 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 dun. Alright, let's go check out this hay deer. See, Chef SC knows what's up. Why would I waste money on loot boxes? Why would I waste money on loot boxes when I can waste it on cool anime figs? Exactly. I like that it's giving me all the tutorial shit again. Like I never played this before. Yeah, that's irritating. I gotta turn that shit off. That's so funny. Basically, every session that you play, it's like, hey, do you wanna do the thing? Check it out. It's gonna be cool because you never done that before. Oh man. That's like Persona explaining the plot to us. Okay. Climb up that thing. Yeah, Chrisploitation, there are a lot of bands named after... Dimmu Borgir is also named after... It's named after a river in Mordor. Lots of bands named after stuff from Tolkien. Yeah, Cirith Ungol, Amon Amarth, Gorgoroth, Isengard, Burzum, Fucking racist black metal asshole Varg Vikernes, his stage name was Count Grishnak, which is the name of the orc. I think he's the name of the orc that talks about sticking Merry and Pippin with the knife. Alright, let's just use the scanning tower. Modern contrivances on magical objects. It's pretty silly. Oh, here we go. Alright, zooming in. Like, even just using the word scan, like, I know that scan isn't inherently, like, a sci-fi word, but, like, in this context, it really feels like they could have picked something different. Like, even search. Even search would have been more appropriate, I think. Scry, yeah, or Scroot, exactly. Scroot the Gondorian artifacts, everyone. Scroot them. Scroot upon the land with your Palantir. Alright, so we're missing one more poetry clue. Oh yeah, that hot collectible content. Every time I jump off something, I want to use my glider. I keep thinking I'm fucking Link.
What was that?
Oh no, my buddy. I have so many arrows with this bow. Feels good, man. Link would make a sick Ranger of Gondor. Totally. Link's got a massive survival skill. Survival and acrobatics are Link's two main skills. Yeah, give me your skull knowledge. Given to me the contents of your stupid orcish mind. Buth. Buth the clever. Hey Boots. The gameplay is good. The story is totally stupid. Like, borderline non-existent. But it's fun sneaking around and killing orcs and stuff, so. Yeah, we do what we can. Narug, the Brander, vulnerable to execution. Hey, me too, Narug. Okay. Yeah, me and Naruk have so much in common. Oh, we could hang out and talk about how we hate being executed. Hey, Naruk, how do you feel about getting executed? Oh my god, you don't like it either? Dude! Oh, yeah. The worst thing is getting stabbed in your body and having your organs punctured? Oh, yeah, I agree. That is the worst. Boy, that is just... I hate when that happens.
Did you hear that?
No, nobody heard anything. Quiet work. Oh yeah, those are those ghoul things. Great. Right, Karagors, what else we got around here?
Little coughing thing would choke to death.
Yeah, well, might as well go to the knife in the dark. All right, let's do it. The Palantir is out of reach, but perhaps Shelob, perhaps Shelob can guide you. Fierce Scully, you are welcome. Thank you for resubscribing. Oh shit! Was it a troll? Oh man. Totally unnecessary for him to be in the game, but I guess he was in the last one, so. Alright, Olukai are tough combatants. They will defeat attempts to vault them, but you can avoid their attack by pressing A to dodge or slide through their legs. They can be stunned with a charged shot to the head, or by landing a properly timed counter. Follow up a stun with a series of melee strikes, or hold RB to... Okay, while mounted, stab them, run them around. Okay. Ugh. Jesus. I mean, he doesn't really seem to be bothered by all this stabbing. Jesus. Stab, 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 stab. Julius Caesared that dude.
We saved you, right, Master?
Gollum? And why would you save me?
I wasn't talking to you, stupid ranger.
He is working for the spider.
No. The Dark Mistress watches over Gollum.
I'm so done with, like,
Watches over
Andy Serkis's version of Gollum. Like, just this whole,
Use the Dark Lord.
And the spider pulls the strings.
just pretty over it.
We share a common enemy in Sauron,
Like, it was fine,
and you can't always choose your
like,
allies.
whatever, 15 years ago.
You don't.
Get out of here.
Come, Red Master. Gollum will show you a quicker path.
Like, it was, yeah, it was good
That
originally, but
wasn't
it's just so, like, overdone. Like,
war trolls. They're smarter, faster, and immune
I think he did fine. I liked it when I first saw it, but I was kind of just like, eh.
We hate them as much as we hate nasty orcs. We keeps our distance so we don't get squished and crushed into bits.
Like how you tried to crush my head with a rock the last time I saw you.
But we didn't. We could
Clay,
never
welcome
hurt
back.
the Bright Lord.
Thank you.
We make up for it now. Yes?
That is yet to be seen.
Welcome.
What up, Jed? Welcome to the squad.
Why would she do that? Trying to eat food that's still moving is a bother. Maybe she likes some fresh, I don't know.
I like the costumes that they gave Thalion. The armor design is quite good.
Something just moved over there. You're finished.
Trying to fight me, or are you fighting each other? Fighting each other. Right, LZT, I'm gonna be in tomorrow afternoon. Jesus, Dave.
Close, Bright Master. We're very close.
I know why you are here.
Return
Return what you have stolen.
Silence, Ringmaker.
You forget yourself.
A couple of hobbits kill you, so
You begged me to help.
maybe I guess they don't kill Shelob, right? Does she survive in the?
And what of you, Talion?
I think so. Maybe they just fuck her up. I can't remember.
I am here for Minas Ithil.
Anyway, I'm not scared of
You
you.
seek to save it, even though it may already be lost.
Tony
There must
Shelhoob.
be a way. There is truth in your vision.
Shelob, played by Tony Shelhoob.
To what end?
He's a great actor. Underrated, that guy.
Knowledge.
Yeah, she gets stabbed at Sperry's
dominate?
Law. But, like, seriously.
Oh, you don't have to tell me. Here is your truth.
You want to move up the ranks, you got to kill. You want to get noticed, kill a pink skin. The bigger the target, the higher you rise.
Idril. She dies.
Many will pass before Sauron is defeated.
Your human lives mean nothing to me.
Guide our hand. If we kill this assassin, perhaps this future will not come to pass. She can
Oh
be
shit, he's
saved.
getting Luke Skywalkered.
She will live
You are not
before
ready,
time
young
will
Talion.
not shift the tide of war. It is Castamere who must be protected. If he falls victim to this assassin, we will
Oh my god, this
lose
guy has the hugest
Palantir.
hard-on for the Palantir. Dude, we'll get the Palantir. Relax.
For the Bright Lord.
Yeah, I feel like, and a lot of this is true of Shadow of Mordor as well. So it's not necessarily new criticism for this game, but there's the wrong. It's giving out the wrong kind of fan jobs, right? Like I feel like the fan jobs we get in this are like, hey, remember the Lord of the Rings movies? Do you remember
know where to find
Gollum? That's the problem. Gollum has become fan service, and that's what's annoying to me about him. It's not the performance, it's that he's stopped being useful and interesting in the way that he is in the book, representing the fallibility of mortals and what happens when power corrupts you and yada yada yada. In this, it's just like, hey, remember Gollum? Remember? Yeah. Yeah, he's in this game. And you're like, okay, alright. Cool. Having Shelob in this is a bit of a fan job too, to be totally honest.
Gonna crush you. Kill that goal. Taste steel.
Toy steel. Hey Elf. It's not, it's not the worst. The gameplay is fun. Basically everything around the gameplay is just like kind of like, 4 out of 10.
Careful. We see some Morgai fly nest.
Stop tutorialing.
What are
I know.
those orcs doing?
Yo,
The first bodyguard should be this way.
Earlier you said you recognized the assassin's curved blade. So you can see Shelob's visions.
I wish that they took the Nemesis system and they took like the cool combat and they applied it to like a new IP or something like that, something cool and good. I don't think that the Lord of the Rings stuff is doing it any favors because they're having to bend it pretty hard to make it. I don't know.
One of the bodyguards was nearby. We're sure of it.
Jutranjo, the problem is that elves aren't or orcs aren't people in this, right? By the laws of the world, orcs don't have like a history or culture. They're like a colonial force that was made up out of other people.
He's been dead for
So
some
it's
time. We'll
yeah.
move faster
The game
before
certainly
we catch
doesn't
up
think,
with
or
the
the world of Tolkien certainly doesn't think that they're humans, or certainly doesn't think that they're people of any kind.
Bodyguardies.
Stop
As the
prompting me to
assassin
mighty
kills
shot.
his way
I
up the
know.
hierarchy, he'll continue to seek bigger targets.
Yeah, there's some dissonance
Like
between.
Yes. Castamere is the only one who knows
Castamere?
where the Palantir
Oh,
is.
shit.
He must be kept alive at all costs.
Don't invite that guy to your wedding. What the world thinks doesn't really matter in how it's presented. It does. No, it totally does matter because they're more like constructs than they are like people. Happy anniversary, Cesius. Like I get the controversy, right? Like enslavement in a game is not good.
We're close. You can find it.
But yeah, I mean the reason it's like D&D, right? The reason that we can murder kobolds and orcs is because they're evil, and we know that they're evil, and that's like a given in the setting. Fuck out of here. Okay, this way. Like if we're looking for a problem with the way that the situation is portrayed, the idea would be that the problem is really about universally accepted objective morality rather than like enslavement. Like orcs, it's a bit different because orcs aren't like, they're not a people that we've like discovered in the world and then enslaved or harassed. It's that they're evil. They're evil monsters. They're literal evil monsters.
Should know where the next target is.
And that's the problem with sort of universal morality like that. Excuse me? Where'd that fucking arrow come from? Who shot me? Ah, there he is.
I believe this plate is of Easterling manufacture. The ceramic and the style of decoration is a sort unknown to me or anyone I've shown it to. I know that the Easterlings from beyond the Sea of Rune have never been friends to Gondor, and their war chariots and wain wagons are fearsome indeed. But I should like to meet one up close when battle is not at hand. No matter how fierce they are, they're still men, not Uruks or other minions of the Dark Lord.
I think the thing is, if we want to portray a species of people...
Easterlings.
I mean, compare and contrast Klingons...
but just as vulnerable to entreaties from Sauron.
Compare and contrast Klingons with orcs, right? I think that's the thing. Like Klingons are the way you do orcs, where they're like a warrior race that that does a lot of orcish things, but they're treated as people. They have a culture. Orcs are never really given a culture besides they're evil and scary because Tolkien doesn't need them to have one for his narrative to exist. They don't fulfill that purpose. Yeah, there's no such thing as a sympathetic orc, which actually I think that the game can run into problems with, because as soon as we start to sympathize with an individual orc, we have to recognize that all orcs potentially have the chance to be sympathetic, and therefore we shouldn't be killing them. So again, a place where the game runs into problems, and this is true of Shadow of Mordor for sure. If we have an NPC orc where we're like, oh, maybe this orc, we should feel bad for bad things that happen to him. Maybe we should protect this orc. Maybe we should laugh at this orc being funny. Like there's some humanity to this orc. Now we have to recognize that all the orcs might have that potential, and then everything we do to them is bad.
The next one
or has the potential of being bad, right? That's when it changes. So the game, in a way, is missing the tone when it introduces orcs that are humanized. Because, again, that's why I think that, another reason why I think that the game doesn't necessarily Tolkien does not help this game when it does things like that. But if all the orcs are just slavering battle warriors, they're not fun or interesting, and we get bored of them. So one way to make them less boring is by humanizing some of them, which totally fucks the whole premise of orcs to begin with.
Orcs are coming. Hide.
He's terrified of Mordor flies. He says the Lord was afraid of spiders.
Alright, let's go kill
Never
someone.
should have told you that.
Yeah, I agree. We were just talking about that, Elf. That
Welcome to the maths.
that Gollum adds nothing to these games because he's just there as like fan service. Also, Olaf, thank you. Oops. Finish the job. What the hell? Okay, all right. Shank, 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 shank. Shank, 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 shank. Oops, don't try to climb him.
Disgusting horses. Always loud and mean. But they don't like the flies, precious. Especially the assassin. He runs whenever he sees them.
I mean, you know, look at orcs. So orcs in Warcraft are a if this were a Warcraft game, Thalion would be seen as a total monstrosity. Right? Like a horrific monstrosity. You'd never get away with doing this to members of the Horde. But that's because they're portrayed, like, Warcraft doesn't have that absolute like, morality in the way that D&D or Tolkien do. But I would say that orcs in Tolkien and orcs in Warcraft share only name, honestly. Like, one is a culture and the other is a monster. Yeah, Warcraft has demons, but it's the absolute morality is morality is a bit different. It's still fairly black and white, but I wouldn't say that it's absolute. Yeah, certainly not with characters that exist in the world, right? Like demons are like a special case. But again, people like that stuff. People don't necessarily, and when it's laziness, honestly, but I mean, some games fall apart if you give personality and life to every monster that you're trying to kill. Like, no way could you try to play a morally gray, like, game of Dungeons and Dragons according to the rules without also acknowledging that your characters are horrible. Your characters are bad people. Like, inevitably, if you have to question whether it's morally right to kill everything you kill in D&D, you can only fight things that are thoughtless, right? That have no consciousness, that cannot possibly contribute to reality. But then who gets to make that call, right? The people doing the killing? Adventure gaming does not lend itself well to moral
Let's find
debate.
out what he knows.
Ethics have no place in that kind of story. Hi.
You will obey!
Okay, you're telling me how to do things I already know how. Alright, so dazed with the flies.
The assassin is near.
Alright, where's that assassin? Where's he at? There he is. Hey, buddy. Yeah, it takes some effort to be a fucking edgelord even among orcs.
Get them away from me! You hit with his head clean off! Today is your amateur! I followed through with my orders, so if you're here to stop me,
Okay.
you'll be sorely disappointed.
Well, so, I mean, like, even in Burning Wheel, orcs, I mean, look at orcs. Like, all they can do is hate. The things they craft, you know, their art is art of blood and death. Their culture is a culture of war, violence, and poison. They have no, like, redeeming value to the rest of the universe, and have no complexity. Which is why, if you're going to play a game of orcs in Burning Wheel, the game is likely to be short, or else you get bored because you start looking for that human angle, and you'll never find it because it's not there. For a game like this, for Tolkien and for Dungeons & Dragons, for its orcs to work, we cannot sympathize with them.
Merciful will go the way of all flesh. We only need the Seeing Star.
Unless we accept that hate is good. Or can be.
How much of your soul was lost in that ring?
I mean, like 0%, because it's all right here. Maybe some of the face area. Oh. I was talking to you, dick. So that's why half-orcs are a thing. Because half-orcs are really just funny humans who struggle with the fact that part of them is innately evil, right? That evil is a racial trait that they are struggling with. And it's like pretty, like that idea of half-orcs, that kind of internal struggle is pretty racist. If you think that that's like, ooh, a death threat, cool. You know, if you think about it that way, if you want to care about orcs, which the game doesn't want you to do.
The Palantir is still at risk of falling into enemy hands.
Did I gain a skill point? Yeah, I did. Yeah, let's do that fucking combat loot. Oh, yeah. There we go. Automatically get that loot. In D&D, narratively, what separates half-orcs from tieflings? Very little. Depending on you know, how orcs are portrayed in your setting and how demons are portrayed in your setting, right? Like, for me, orcs... In Court of Swords, for example, orcs are very, very, very rare. Like, I don't think, in the modern Court of Swords, I don't think we've ever even seen any, have we? And that's because they've been bred out. They don't, I think they don't exist. I think that mostly human slaves, human indentured servants, and orcs were bred. Yeah, there were a few in one of the arcs, but we never really got to see much of them. That's right. Yeah, they were hanging out by the Mara ruins. Yes, that's right. I think that was the only time we've seen them. But the idea is that they've been mostly bred away, and half-orcs are like a slave species of dwarves and some humans, as like this sort of like reciprocity deal at the end of I think a big like war between orcs and dwarves. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I imagine the orcs in my setting in Court of Swords, definitely are like a people. They have a culture. They're violent, but they're more like Klingons than they are like Tolkien orcs. The way I do it anyway, or the way I intend to do it. But also in my version of D&D, right, in Court of Swords, we don't have absolute morality. There's no alignment in my game. There's only fate, and so orcs are not. There's no question of evil or good. No one cares about that. There's only karma. There's attachment and enlightenment. Right. You can have a martial culture that isn't a abattoir obsessive culture. Alright, let's do some scanning. Okay, so the towers do have like a little bit of overlap. They don't all scan totally unique areas. Yeah, I like Warcraft orcs. They're very different than D&D orcs, and I think they've evolved in a really interesting way. Yeah, I really like the idea of humans being genetically flexible, that you can interbreed them with just about anything. You know, I've always said that when humans first discover aliens, we're gonna try to figure out if we can fuck them or eat them. That'll be the two things we do first. And I like that in my fantasy settings too. The idea that humans, they're like goats. Okay, where's I need this last. Ah, there it is. Yeah, right, Vivian, exactly. That's why in Nebula Jazz, they're the only species that can breed with Mingasi. Yep, you got it. Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing, is no matter what game you're playing, some stuff just kind of gets interconnected. Okay, let's get a quest. Let's just start doing some of these little things here. It's easiest. Yeah, I was talking about aliens. Hey, intel. Why can't I jump off there we go. I think the thing with dwarves and elves is that they're often portrayed. Why can't I pick that up? That intel. Oh, there we go. Collect intel. The thing with elves and dwarves, the reason we don't, that humans don't traditionally like treat them like that, is because they came before us. They're like the elder species, right? Like they kind of outrank humanity in most fantasy settings. There's this idea that humans are on their way in, or we live in a human age, versus like an elder age that used to be of the elves or of the dwarves or both.
He praised my hunger, though he called it passion. We were as one. now I live in darkness at the edges of his empire. I explore the web of fate, a silent witness to his growing power, his everlasting dominion. It is time for me to come into the light.
How come there's never half dwarves? Because dwarves aren't sexy. I mean, I disagree. I think you can have some sexy dwarves, but because when coming up with half things, usually there's one of two angles. There's, would a human want to fuck this, and would this want to sexually assault a human? Which is why we get half orcs, half elves, half angels, and half demons. In Dark Sun, though, there are labor-bred half humans, half dwarves. They're called mules. They're basically like mules. Yeah, and they're like a servitor species.
A spider always lies in wait.
But for what?
Half gnomes. Well, see, that's the thing. Like, half gnomes, nobody wants to fuck a gnome. Nobody wants to fuck a halfling. According to the way that fantasy art tends to portray these things, right? I gotta tell you, Rosie, the barmaid from the fucking Shire. Yep, she can get it. I'm with Sam on that one. Rosie can get it. Also, in my headcanon, Sam is bisexual because he obviously wants to get with Frodo too. So. Zugor the Friendly. I like your hat, Zugor. Oh shit, that's Elven Rage. There we go. I know, tap repeatedly, I did it. I totally did it already, thank you. Alright, let's go over here. This way, Penny. The other thing about like half species and stuff is that it's often a way to differentiate. Like this is a thing in that is actually sort of different from D&D versus say like the real world. Often having the blood of a non-white race, if you're an old-timey racist, immediately made you not white anymore. Whereas in fantasy, things tend to be much more clear-cut mechanically, because they kind of have to be. I mean, if someone plays a half, and I think I've talked about this before, if someone plays a half something in a setting, I use that as inspiration to explore, like, being an outcast in that civilization. I don't think that being a half-elf is something that most people would consider a half-orc, what most people would consider beneficial. You just get to not fit in with both cultures. But it is certainly interesting, right? That idea of, like, Tolkien has a bit of this with the various elves with human blood, right? Which lets them sort of straddle the two worlds. Also, like, even in Lord of the Rings, sometimes people who appear to be humans aren't, right? Like Gandalf, not a human. Aragorn, like, sort of a human, but like also you could qualify that he might be like. He's pretty Azamar-esque. Okay. Yeah, Aragorn's like mostly human, but also I think that the world of men contained a lot of different things. Ooh, an online vendetta. I drained the soul of a rat, is what I was just doing. Which, yeah. Some Vampire the Masquerade shit right there. Well, so, you know, that's a good point. Kurulski points out that the way that ancient cultures tended to differentiate one another was not by things like the color of their skin. That's a fairly modern contrivance. The way ancient cultures used to differentiate one another is the languages they spoke. Right? Like, you could be whatever skin color you wanted, and still be a part of a culture with, like, lots of different ethnodiversity, but it was about language. It was about what language you spoke. So if your primary language was like, you know, Scythian, that made you different from a Greek, even if you shared a skin color or maybe worshiped the same gods. Yeah, which I think is really interesting. And they would divide like tribes and stuff by language, rather than by political barriers. Okay. Oh, I see. Here we go. So we bash the statues. Come on, Oleg, do the fucking thing. Jesus. Oh my god, stop. Here, hit this guy. Fight him. This is what's gonna happen to you. Ah, no, his arm! I don't even know what I'm doing. Like, I'm just fighting them for the sake of fighting them, I guess. Oh, here we go again. Get used to that sound. Chutron drove, no worries. I like it. I like talking about this stuff. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like exclusively language that separated people, especially later on. But yeah, that would be the first thing that someone would use to differentiate. Like, you know, a lot of the Greek histories talked about the various. I did that wrong. Grom.
Death, and I will accept.
George Rain, I'm just playing on normal. Man, that guy's got a good scream. Narug the Brander versus Buth the Clever. Oh, see you later, Buth. All right, what's this online vendetta? It's right near me. We could do it. Let's see what it is. Avenge the death of Gob Lord. Oh, Gob is one of my Steam friends. I see how it is.
May you never learn what it is like to fight for 1,000.
Okay, let's go avenge Gob. Gob Lord used to be in my World of Warcraft guild. Let's do it. This one's for you, Gob Lord.
You might want to plug your ears, Orc.
Detonate grog stacks. Oh my god, I'm gonna change my name to Grog Stack. Mighty Grog Stack.
Poison and stealth. The tools of these dark orcs are strangely familiar.
And yet for them, sadly ineffective.
Ranger! My power can destroy you from within.
Okay. You say so.
I appreciate it. Don't you like a bit of pain? Give up.
No, he's so enraged. Well, now he's dead. He'll be enraged in the grave. Oh no, I poisoned myself with that stupid drug. Okay, let's finish this. I mean, there's a reason, Red Troubadour. There's a reason why the easiest. The easiest things to have as disposable enemy force in a game are constructs, as long as we don't humanize them, because then we don't have to worry about the ethics of killing them. They're just robots. They don't feel or think or whatever, right? So that's the easy way to go. This is just, and orcs in Tolkien are like almost there already. They're sort of construct-esque. Whoa, what the hell? Why are there caragors up on the roof? That is stupid. That is stupid and I hate it. And not Ariel killed that guy? Jump. I saw a grog stack. Oh, there's one. Oh, look, it's a poisonous orc.
I've been looking for you for a long time. My skin, it grows and contorts.
That's gross.
It swells and twists. Nothing, it seems, can stop it.
So what you could do, Red Troubadour, if you wanted to go this route and humanize them, like maybe only the ones you work with, make your character like a hacker. And you're fighting, set it in a sci-fi or a cyberpunk sort of setting, and the world is plagued by like fascist robots or something, right? And they're mindless servants. They're mindless servants of the enemy, and then make them like robots. But you are a hacker, and you can hack some robots to be friends. They can be your friends, and you can give them personalities because that's a thing that would be for you. So that would be a way to humanize the ones that are your buddies, but keep the inhumanity of the other ones. All I want to do is get this one fucking flying kill and be done with it. God damn it. I need to get my focus back. Beat on this guy for a little while, I guess. Oh, hey. There's two of them. Yeah, exactly. Endow personality instead of them already having it and then you taking it away. There we go. Okay, so now we just gotta find more grog stacks to blow up.
This is not how it's supposed to be! Next time you will be mine!
The problem is again the dissonance between giving orcs personality and culture at all. That's where the problem comes from. I need some more elf shot. Teleporting orcs. Yeah, they do that. Oh, there's that. There's a grog stack I can toast. You
blew up the grog! You'll account for every wasted drop with your own blood.
Alright, Zuber, let's do this thing.
Zugor.
Clumsy and flammable. Yeah, Zugor.
I'm flaying you. I'll fly your skin as a banner.
All right, man. He's enraged by the mere presence of Caragors. Okay. Here, let's kill off as many of these nerds as we can. There we go. Oh no. See you later. Alright, we did it. I did a vendetta, I got a loot chest. And we got the extra bonus shit and a bunch of other gems.
Of the darkness.
Soon they will drown in my light.
Uh-huh.